Make some noise. Hadithi.
The man is a legend, a Toastmaster. He started working in telecoms and banking, and now he's a business owner, independence. I know. And he's going to tell us a story about just a normal day after work, but then everything changed. Please welcome John, the legend, Phadima.
Wretched is how I feel as I spew these words of hostility through my lips. Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I locked myself in the bedroom after witnessing the ill-mannered behavior of my ex-wife. It all started one day when I came back from work. I found her waiting for me. And I could tell that, today things are a bit different. Usually she would call me Big Daddy. But today, I was just John. Please take a seat, she said. I need to speak to you. Well, I put my bag down and I sat on the couch and looked at her. She said, I've been thinking about this for quite a long time, and I've come to a conclusion that I'm leaving. I said, where are you going? Home? She said, no, I'm leaving you. I paused for a moment. And then I said, is there anything that I can do or say to convince you to stay? She said, no. Actually, I've already found a place. I was just letting you know. The conversation took about 3 hours. I was trying to convince her to stay. I've tried all the verbal gymnastics that you can think of. But she said, you know what? I'm still leaving anyway. My wife of 3 years was leaving me. It took me 5 years to date her. The first day when I saw her, I knew she was going to be my wife. I told her that I'm going to introduce you to my mother and my ancestors. But my wife was leaving me because I'm the most difficult, stubborn, petty man that you can ever deal with. That hit me so hard that I started crying. I cried because I love this woman. I cried because I prayed for this woman. Inside, that song? Mama never told me there would be days like this. But something gave in. That love quote? If you love something, you need to set it free. And if it's for you, it will come back. And then I said to her, whatever decision that you take, I'm just going to let you do it. I said, I'm tired, so I'm going to go sleep and I'll see you in the morning. I stood up and went to the bedroom. A couple of minutes later, she came storming. Hey, hey! Woo! John Mashiane Phadima. So really, you are just going to let me leave? I was so confused. I said, you know what? It took me 3 hours to try to convince you not to leave. But now, I just don't care. So whatever decision that you take, I support you. And then she paused and looked at me. She said, I'm going to kill myself. She stormed out of the bedroom and went to the kitchen. You know, as I was trying to process the words that she said, I was thinking, what am I going to tell her family? What am I going to tell my family? And what about the police if she dies in my presence? I quickly jumped out of the bed and then followed her. You know, when I got into the kitchen, I thought she was reaching for a knife. But she opened the medicine cabinet and she reached for a Panado and Allergex. And you know what? I thought, if she takes this, she's just gonna sleep until the following day. So I made a U-turn and then went back to sleep. And then after an hour, I could hear her walk into the other bedroom. And I could hear the door closes and switching off the light. But I was still terrified. If I let her to kill herself, but then what about me? I mean, we know what happened to River. We know what happened to Flabber. I quickly got out of bed and then locked the door because I was scared for my life. What if she takes her life and mine too? I woke up the following day, went to the other bedroom, greeted her and said, I'll see you later. She said, sure. But later when I came back from work, she was not there. And 2 days later, she sent me a message. I met my cousin, but my pride wouldn't let me respond. A week passed, the second week passed, and the third one. And already reality was kicking in. I told no one. I had already lost weight. But I eventually phoned my parents to try and resolve everything, but we failed. And eventually we separated. And you know what? Me, being John, the legend, I tried to go into dating. But before I did that, I phoned my friend who was in Cape Town. I told him about the ordeal. And then he could hear that I was deeply hurt. And then he asked, don't you want to see a counselor? I said, come on. You know, counseling is for white people. I mean, really. You know black people don't walk dogs until Madiba was the first person to do that. So I think I will pass. And then I started dating. But you know, the sad part is most of my relationships never lasted a month. Because you know, I always try to find an excuse to break up. This one is colored, she'll always be speaking English. I don't have that time. This one is just too nice. Why are you being too nice? You're going to love me and then eventually leave me? And then the other one, this one just likes attention. I don't think I can deal with this. But the trauma of rejection was dealing with me. I phoned my friend and then I said, you know what, I don't think I'm coping. But do you really think I'm a bad person? And then he said, if I dated you, I would know. But for the fact that you asked yourself that question, then you know there's something wrong and it is your responsibility to fix it. Miracles always happen. This one time a colleague of mine recommended a book, but she didn't know that I was going through a tough time. The book is Leadership and Self-Deception. It took me 2 days to finish that book. It's a conversational book. When I read that book, it was saying, you have faults. But in my mind, I kept saying, no, I'm perfect. And the book kept on saying, I know you're saying you're perfect, but you do have faults. On the second day, when I finished the book, I was a different person. I went on Facebook. I searched for my ex-wife. I sent her an inbox. Hi. I finally know why you left. But firstly, I would like to say, I am sorry for everything that I've done to you, and I hope you find it in your heart to forgive me. I am sorry. Well, it took her a week to read the message because each and every day I would go to Facebook just to check the ticks. And then eventually she read the message. And it took her 2 days to respond. And in her message she said, it's okay. I can see you're a different man now. And I forgive you. But my ex-wife and I are not back together, and I'm not even planning on doing that. So I hope there's greener pastures on the other side. So ladies, this beast is not taken. Thank you.